Hello, in this video we're going to learn how to import data from a text file using a common separated text file. So the extension on the end of that would be CSV for common extended or common separated text file. So we're going to use the Newtrend census file that we've used in the past. We used this file when we imported from Access and we imported some population information. This time we're going to import some housing unit data. So we're going to click on the third tab at the bottom of this workbook. So we're going to use the housing unit data, and we're going to place our cell pointer in A6, and that's where we want the data to drop in when we ultimately finish the process. So again, we're going to go up to our data button. So far we've imported from Access, we've imported from a web page, and now we're going to import from text. So Excel assumes that because it's from text, we're going to import a file that already exists, which we are. So we're going to go to our student data files, which I've copied over to my desktop. This is a Chapter 8 file. And we're going to use the UI rate file because that's the file that has the CSV. But actually, because we're doing the housing unit one, we're going to choose the housing units.csv file, and then I'm going to click import. All right, so our text import wizard comes up. And it needs us to let it know. We have to follow the steps, so you'll see the next button at the bottom as we go from screen to screen. There's going to be 3 screens, so 3 steps. Right now we're at step number 1. And the kind of a thumbnail sketch of the data is in the bottom of the window there, just a preview. So we want to start at row 1 of the data. We want to make sure that our delimited button is chosen. The characters are separated somewhat in some way, either in columns or with tabs or with spaces. So there's some kind of a delimiter that separates the data from one column to the next. So we want to make sure delimited is chosen, and then we're going to click on next. And so now Excel needs us to tell it in what way our data is separated. And so in our data file, our data is separated by a comma. So we can take the tab off and click on comma to tell Excel that our delimiter is a comma. So when it sees a comma, Excel will know to put it in a new column, and you'll see that that's what it's done in our data preview. So it's taken the comma as the separators, and it has placed it in separate columns based on the comma. So then we click on next. And so now the step 3 lets us select a column, set the data format. So we can do a general data format, text data format, date, if we wanted to rank it by date, or we can just use a general data format. And so then when we've chosen all of those, we're just going to use general. We're going to click on finish because our steps are finished. And so now you'll see a familiar import data dialog box. So now Excel needs us to confirm where we want to put the data. And again, it's assuming we want it in A6 because that was the cell we were in when we started the process. If we wanted it in a different location, then we could simply type it in there, remembering to put the equal sign first and then the dollar signs as our anchor. So equal and then dollar sign in front of the column reference and dollar sign in front of the row reference. So once we have the location in, we just click OK, and you'll see that the data has then dropped in column by column. All right, now it's already assumed column widths based on text that it's found in the column, but you're at least now ready, as you scroll through, you're ready now to take that data and in your workbook and to format your workbook appropriately. So again, importing data from a CSV file will likely be a common process for you in the healthcare field. A lot of the information that's out there in various forms, various programs, can be converted to CSV, which is a comma-separated text file, and it's a pretty common format universally. So you'll likely encounter a lot of CSV files that can then be easily imported into Excel. So it's the same process that we've used when we import from Access or from the web. We use the same process when we're importing from a text file.